Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Even and Wings pod, where we are focusing on border grassroots rugby. We've got a very special guest here today, but before we get to him, don't forget to like and subscribe. Coach Wings, over to you.
Firstly, thank you for having us on again. Thank you, Lionel, for joining our program. We've got none other than Lionel Cronjé here today with us. I don't think he needs any introduction. Lionel's been playing professional rugby now for a long time. He's had a great career, and he comes from the Eastern Cape. So we're very happy to have him on our show tonight. Yeah, I don't think Lionel needs any introduction. Thanks, Lionel, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your time, man.
Oh no, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me. It's really an awesome to be on the pod with you guys, and let's hope we can have some good laughs and share some stories with regards to the border area.
Yeah, so Lionel, let's quickly just start about where you're from. Tell us a little bit about what it was like and some of your memories there playing at the Rec. I always remember us. I was stupid and stopped playing rugby in high school. I took it up later in life again, but I remember going to Queens. That was probably the most intimidating place.
Yeah, no, definitely in our time, it was definitely the most intimidating place there at the Rec. But yeah, strangely just grew up in the small town of actually Berkeley East, and then later on in Studderam, which is obviously in between East London and Queenstown. And then with my parent and my dad and my grandparents that went to Queens, it was only a natural space for myself and my brother to go to and go to boarding school there. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
What are some of the best memories you had there? Or let's maybe talk about some of the most memorable matches you had.
Yeah, no, we had a pretty decent team at Queens, spanning from 2005, 6 and 7. We boasted some really talented rugby players and guys that really did well after school as well. So we were just very fortunate that we had some great coaches at Queens at the time, Clinton Lust and Dave McEwen, that really fostered a really good rugby culture in Queenstown. And we were just really privileged and excited to represent Queen's College. Well, as everyone knows, it the Whites. So that was just an awesome time for us and really an amazing start to which. At the time, I didn't really know it would be a career for me, but it was just really fostered there at Queens.
The other thing I remember when we went to Queens, and I actually got inspiration to do something similar at Hudson, but you guys had those drums that the guys were playing in the stands, and they were putting those rhythm. That was really cool, and it gave the people a lot of energy on the field.
Yeah, definitely the rhythm of rugby in the Eastern Cape and at Queen's College, starts with the singing and the ethos behind the schools. And I just touched on mentioning the rhythm and the heartbeats of those schools in the Eastern Cape is definitely the soul behind the success of it all. And obviously Queens are known for the guijos that they sing. They obviously renowned on a world stage now. I see them even featured on the Chasing the Sun documentary there in the introduction. So the spirit and the livelihood of rugby in the Eastern Cape is definitely in the rhythm of the drums and the singing and the guijos. So I think the success of that started there. And then obviously a lot of dedicated people in the schools and at that grassroots level at Queen's College is second to none. So I know with Queens now, they've still got guys involved, Clinton Lust and obviously the traditions of the schools and guys that are dedicated on the ground at the schools for many years, which the boys just absolutely love and would do anything for those guys at the school.
A couple of Queens questions.
Yeah.
Lionel, so you played first team from 16 years old, because nowadays we have an under 16 side. And then you moved to opens, but you played from 16 in the first team. I think you had a grade 10 year, grade 11 year, and a grade 12 year. Eh?
Yeah, that's quite right.
As a first team fly off.
Yeah.
Who played more games, you or your boot?
So everything I've learned is obviously from my brother. I believe he's the best fly off in the Eastern Cape. But and when it comes to games, I think I nipped him on those. I think I got a couple more than him. I don't know how many more, but a couple more than him. Yeah.
But I heard that your boot played 9 or something, like in grade 9 already. Or is that just a story? Or did he also play
No,
from 16?
so obviously, as you guys know, that there's obviously you can't play in grade 10 anymore. But my bud actually did play in grade 10 as well. But he actually just went to a tournament, I think, in his grade 10 year, but definitely not grade 9. But there was a guy at Dale College that's infamous for playing in grade 9, and there was a scrum off called Tile. I don't know if anyone remembered him.
Yeah.
He was one of Cole Spalas's um, protege, something like that. And he definitely played from grade 9. I think he holds a record. I think he's the only to play 100 caps for first team.
Yes.
Some of the guys that might watch this podcast might have a good laugh when they hear that name again. Tile, he was a flipping good scrum. Really good, yeah.
Yeah. What does it mean? What does it mean to the school when you come back? You know, like the reception they have for you and stuff, and you know, with the guys that look up to you as a professional player and somebody that made it in rugby, that went out and made a career out of rugby.
I'm a bit old now. The guys don't know me anymore.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just a old boy who goes there and just loves watching schoolboy rugby and supporting the old school and getting caught up in the camaraderie and the gees of schoolboy rugby. But in saying that, you know,
Yeah.
I do take a lot of pride in being able to make a professional rugby career from the Eastern Cape. We actually joked, funny enough, this morning about there's a couple of guys now in the Shark squad. Jordan Hendrickse, his brother Jaden, who's from King Williamstown. There's a young up and coming centre wing who played junior box now. Lily Bester, who was at he actually went to school at Cambridge in the primary school and ended up going to Maritzburg College. And obviously, as you know, the Hendrickse boys went to Glenwood. So we joked with them. We said, "Yeah, you guys couldn't get out of Eastern Cape. You know, you guys couldn't stay there for 18 years. You guys had to go find greener pastures." So we just had a bit of banter, and that you know they couldn't survive the 18 years in the Eastern Cape. But obviously, that's just setting good spirits. But it's really awesome to see so many good players make it professionally from Queens since I obviously came through in 2008, 9, 10. Yao Penke, Alan Dell, Spura Sitole played sevens for the Blitz box. JP Smith, Chris Hollis, Joshua Stander, Sisalo Benge, Liola Dapulo played at Griquas. Regan Oranyo plays now for the Free State Cheetahs and played at Griquas as well. And I'm definitely leaving out a few names. So it's definitely great to see since then that there's been so many Queenians that have come through professionally, and that's also not to mention guys from Selborne, you know, that we play against now. Sango Kamlashe is captain of Griquas. Thomas Bursey plays at Griquas. We know Chris Clutie came through. There's so many players from the Eastern Cape that have come through in the last couple of years, which has been amazing to see. And that's not only guys that matriculated. It's some guys that have also got bursaries to come to schools in Tull or other schools that have used the platform that Eastern Cape schools have provided them. So it's just been amazing to see so many guys from the Eastern Cape still make it into professional rugby. Like you've also mentioned, like my Pimpy as well, who's come through probably the hardest route that the Eastern Cape can provide through the club system, through border and getting an opportunity at the Kings, and then we obviously know what he's accomplished since then. So it's been absolutely amazing to be a part of that.
Let's move on to the Kings. Yeah, I saw you. We of not seeing each other. Remember at the golf club at in Queenstown, we went for a round of golf, and at that time,
Yeah,
I don't think you were contracted.
yeah, I very vividly remember that. There were a couple of shenanigans that went on while there at the bowling green.
Our good buddy Matthew Grumbeck, who lives there in Queenstown, still wanted to run at you on the bowling green. He wanted to have a run at you in the bowling green. I don't think you were contracted at that stage. I don't think you were contracted to a union.
I think the highlights footage from that incident possibly got me the opportunity to go to the Kings. So I don't know if I must thank you guys. I don't know. Did you guys send it to the coaches at the Kings? And
To Dion David. To
yeah,
Dion David.
yeah. I think
We spoke about him that night. I promise you, we spoke about him that night, and I was still mentioning to you, like, what about the Kings? What about this? What about that? But it could have gone gone differently, eh? If maybe if Grims at about 150 kgs came storming at you on the
Yeah,
bowling green there,
I still owe you guys a lunch. Thanks
we
for
pulled out.
Dion. Thanks for sending it.
But yeah, that's interesting. And then that's kind of where your career, I mean, that season at the Kings was wild. I mean, you guys were amazing.
Yeah, it was really an interesting time because without getting too deep about it, is obviously I'd moved on from the Sharks and had a year off, so spent some time with family and just reconnected with people that's close to home, and people in the Eastern Cape, people that love and support you and want the best for you. I mean, that's the true heart of Eastern Cape, and the people of the Eastern Cape is people love and care for each other so much over there, and that's all I needed was some people just to remind me that you can actually do it, you can play. And yeah, I was just really fortunate that I had some people in my corner that really supported me, my wife and family at the time. So yeah, it was just a really, really amazing time to be able to get the opportunity to then play for our local team, which was the Southern Kings at the time. And yeah, we made something special happen there. It was very sad that it couldn't keep going after that 2017 season,
Yeah, I think that was a very special and like very, yeah, it was a time where it kind of reinvigorated your career. And then, like you say, maybe you weren't sure if I don't know. I don't know if you doubted yourself or whatever the case may be, but you came into that season. I mean, you didn't only play, you captained the side. You were the captain that year. And yeah, like I said, it was a phenomenal season. There's a viral clip of you putting a chippy through for Penclair, I think it was there.
I think it was for Malcolm. Yeah, it was an interesting little move that.
Yeah, was that on the fly? Was that on the boogie, or did you guys practice that in
No,
the?
no, so it's quite a little interesting little story surrounding that. Is that obviously I'd matriculated at Queen's in 2007, and once upon a time did one of those tricks at school, and it was actually our reunion year that year, our 10-year reunion. And at Queen's, it's quite a special thing, you celebrate your tens, so if you finished in '07. Your 2017, our next big one will be 2027, and all the years of the seven get together. So guys from 1997, 1987, and yeah, a lot of my friends through my professional career always joked and said, "You must try that trick one day in a provisional setup." I said, "Guys, there's no ways I could ever do that in a provisional setup. If it doesn't work, you get knocked on. There's all these videos these days, it's going to be out there forever and a day." And they were like, "No, just one day, try it, just give it a crack." And yeah, it was coincidentally our reunion weekend and our reunion year. So I don't know what happened. It was just in a purple patch, and I thought, well, bugger this, we'll give it a crack. And thank goodness it worked out favorably.
Legend, legend. And yeah, Dion Davids as a coach at the time.
No, Dion's obviously, yes. He's been through the ranks. He coached Southwestern Districts. He coached Southern Kings. He was assistant coach at the junior box for many years. He was obviously head coach at the Kings at the time. So no, Dion's an unbelievable coach. Great ability to work with people, and a very passionate rugby man. And it's just been really awesome to see him now as a World Cup winner. He's assistant coach with Box, and yeah, lovely family man. And yeah, just wish him all the best. And yeah, unbelievable coach. And yeah, really thankful for the opportunity that he provided me and so many other guys at the Kings at the time that needed a resurrection in their career or just an opportunity, which is so hard to come by for players in the Eastern Cape, because we don't have such a strong border rugby team anymore, or platform to springboard us into rugby.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question about what happened that day when you and Grims went onto the golf course? So yourself and Grims went and played a round of golf in Catburg. You guys went on a golf tour in Catburg.
Yes, yeah.
And then Matthew had a shot in. I think it was about 100 meters out, and he asked you what club to use. What exactly happened there?
No, so it was quite funny. So I just shot in, and I was yeah, he actually played quite decently that day, or that hole at least. And then he didn't have a GPS on him, so I said to him, or a distance, I think, to tell the distance. So I said to him, it was actually only about 100 meters in, and I said to him it's about 150, 160. So he said to me, what do you reckon, 6 or 7 iron? No, but go for six iron or 7 iron. But he was only like maximum 100 meters out, and he hit this pearler, stuck dialing in on the flag, and the ball just never came down and flew the green by like 90 meters. He just flew the green, and he looked at me. He's like, "Are you sure you got the distance right, bro? Are you sure you got the distance right?" But meanwhile, the club was so far out. He just bombed it over. Yeah,
Yeah, no, yes. Yeah, that guy's a comedian, bro, but you got him good.
yeah, I got him a
Yeah, you
solid.
got him good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some quick fire questions. I've got 4 questions here for Lionel. And Lionel, just the first thing that comes to mind. Okay, number 1, most difficult opponent that you've played against?
Dwayne Vermeulen, just because he hits so hard.
Best player that you played against at school level?
Wait, tricky one. I'd have to say Bradley Kretzmann.
Who did you play for?
He was at Selborne, fly for
Selborne.
Selborne. Yeah, very competitive. Yeah, good mate of mine, but definitely the toughest. Yeah.
Okay, this is my personal favorite. Which is the quickest player that you've played against, or played with at least?
Oh, yes, there's so many of them, but I'd have to say played with definitely my Pimpy.
Yeah, no, he's got some serious wheels, eh? And then last one, best team environment that you've been in?
Difficult question. Been many good team environments, but just being from the Eastern Cape, the year at the Southern Kings was really special.
Yeah, it was really great having you on. It was nice talking about Queens and yeah, some of those stories. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks a lot for having me, guys. Have a lucky week, and yeah, happy to have been on the show with you guys. Like and subscribe on the Even and Wings podcast.
Yeah, Wings, that was interesting. Our first kind of celebrity guest.
Interesting. We went to the rec to go watch him. That game, he was 16 years old. He was up against Jeffrey Toliard that day at 10. So this is the first time that I had seen him since Allowall North, because that's how myself and Lionel know each other. So get there to the rec and whatever, and say how's it to him before the game or whatever. He gets onto the field, and it wasn't 5 minutes, and old Jeffrey is always a lack of aggressive. Remember, Jeffrey always enjoyed a scuffle. So Lionel and Jeffrey, the game is happening down there on the other 22, but him and Jeffrey are just having a full-on wrestling match on the floor there. And that's when I knew this oak has got special talent to keep his cool in that, Jeffrey obviously it's quite an intimidating fly off to play against. And Lionel kept his cool that day, and he actually played a brilliant game. He was breaking the line, making unbelievable passes, out the back door, just the natural talent that he is. It was awesome to have him on our channel, really.
Yeah, it was really great. Well done on getting him onto the channel. Yeah, I remember that when he was in grade 10, we were grade 11, because Jeffrey was in our grade, but he was a year older than us, I think. So
yeah,
it was basically what 2 years difference, and he was 16, and yeah, I remember he really stood up. You could check how strong he was, Lionel, I mean. But I also remember that I think it only happened towards the end when we were also matric, that they had those drums and they were playing these amazing rhythms, and that's kind of how I got the idea, because I started a thing in high school called the Spirit Band, and so we kind of did the same thing with the drums, but we added some instruments and we're playing house music. But bro, that's some of my best memories in high school, when we were hitting those jams while the others were playing rugby. Yeah, and I mean, we went at traditional schools, so to speak, like Selborne College were a lot more traditional with all their sing songs and stuff. But we somehow were just hoing the house music, and I was dancing, and I remember Van Aswegen also gooied some moves there in front of the school. I also did, and then we had some guys that we would pick out of the crowd, and yeah, bro, those are really great memories. I don't know if they do it today anymore, but yeah, it was really great. Anyways, Coach Wings, I think that's it for this week. I hope that everybody enjoyed the pod. See you guys next time. Cheerio. Like and subscribe. Don't forget.
Thanks, brother. Yeah.